everyone. Welcome to Four Pines Farm Virtual Chat. I am Brittany with the Discover Dairy program, and we are so excited to have you joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Mackenzie and, of course, your adorable adopted calves, Apple, Dolly, Maisey, and Star. Today's chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the American Dairy Association, Mideast, and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to both those organizations for making today possible. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. And for anyone that is new to Discover Dairy or Adopt a Cow, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while talking and using dairy concepts. If you're interested in learning more about these free resources, please go ahead to discoverdairy.com. We'd also love for you to join the Adopt a Cow Fund next year. So if you're interested in joining again, or you're new to the program and want to join the fund, registration actually opens this Sunday, May 1st. So to receive an email about registration on May 1st, you can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt. At that website, there'll be a short form you can complete to make sure you get the notification email on May 1st. Or if you wait till after May 1st, that same link, discoverdairy.com/adopt, will take you right to the registration form. Next, as everyone continues to join us live today, you will see that chat feature is enabled, and please feel free to keep using that chat feature, comment, ask questions throughout the tour. We can see many of you are using it and letting us know where you're from. We're so excited to have you all today. Please just keep in mind that we want to make sure all those questions and comments stay related to the chat and stay school appropriate. So before we jump over to Farmer Mackenzie, I'm going to just see who is joining us today. And I can see there are lots of you joining us today, which is really exciting. So I'm going to try and just pick a couple random ones out to give a little shout out to. So let's see, we've got Mrs. Gregory's class from Wheeling, West Virginia. Hello, good morning, everybody. We've got our first ones who joined us, Mrs. Morocco's class in Willow Wick, Ohio. Welcome, everybody. How about we've got Mrs. Allen's third grade class from New Manchester, West Virginia. Hello, good morning. And we've got Mrs. Jepson's kindergarten class from Dayton, Ohio. Good morning, everybody. And scrolling down a little bit further, we've got Mrs. Crosby's kindergarten class from Elaria, Ohio. I apologize if I butchered that, but good morning, everybody, and welcome. And let's see, let's pull two more here. Mrs. Hubbard's first grade class from Delaware, Ohio. Welcome and good morning, first graders. And we have Mrs. Elder's kindergarten class in Lancaster, Ohio. Welcome and good morning to all of you, and to everyone that we didn't get a chance to give a shout out to. We are so excited to have you on today. Please keep using that comment and that chat feature there. That's where you can go ahead and put your questions and your comments. We might ask you some questions throughout the chat for you to answer, or you can ask us the questions. So keep using that chat feature so we can interact and answer your questions with Farmer Mackenzie. So with that, I am pleased to introduce you to Farmer Mackenzie from Northwest Sugarcreek, Ohio. Hey, Farmer Mackenzie, how are you doing today?
Hey, Brittany, I'm doing well. How are you?
We are doing great. We have some really excited classes today to chat with you and see their girls. And it looks like it's a sunny, maybe cold, but sunny day at your farm. So we're excited to talk with you, Farmer Mackenzie. So I will let you go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a little bit of background about your farm to start.
Well, my name's Mackenzie Dietz. I'm a sixth generation dairy farmer. This farm has been in my father's family for over 100 years.
Wow.
But now myself and two of my younger brothers are all back on the farm. I decided to go to college and study something different instead of anything in agriculture, but I found that I'm pretty passionate about this farm and my family and dairy. And so I'm back on the farm as of 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm working alongside my two younger brothers and my father. So I'm really excited to be a part of this program.
Oh, I love that. I love that it's a family operation, that you guys are working together. And if I'm not mistaken, that's how, 95% of the farms are across the country. They're all family owned and operated, just like you guys, clearly taking really good care of these cows and have great farms and are great stewards of the land, which is awesome. So thank you for sharing that. That's really awesome that you're part of such a great family organization like that. And just before we dive into talking about the girls, right now they are standing still, really pretty, and we have really good lighting right now. And we had a question from a teacher just asking if there's a way we could have a photo op opportunity for the presentation. So why don't we try and do one right now for anyone that is watching? If you would like to have a photo op opportunity. We don't normally do this, but these girls are standing still and the request was asked. They want a chance for the kids to get in front of the smart board and be able to get a photo with their cows. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that now, we'll give you like 10, 15 seconds here. And Farmer Mackenzie, this will give you a little break here. So this is a great shot for with the cows. They're standing and they're relaxing and they're eating. So for our teachers who are watching today, go ahead. This is your opportunity. Quickly go ahead and get your kiddos in front of that screen if you'd like that photo. And we'll give it a minute here. And while we've got this photo op opportunity, Farmer Mackenzie, do you maybe just want to share with us a little bit of information? Maybe, how many cows are you guys raising? How many acres do you have? Just give us some background farm info while we're going ahead with that photo op opportunity.
Sure. So on our dairy farm, we're milking about 1,500 cows at a time. Total, we have about 1,700, including all of our calves, our heifers, and the cows that haven't had a baby yet. So we milk 3 times a day, and the milking usually lasts 8 hours, but we have 6 different groups that we milk. So to milk a cow, it only takes about 5 to 7 minutes. And when they walk into the parlor, it's super relaxing. They're ready to be milked. They enjoy that process. It doesn't hurt at all. So we actually raise all of our crops on this farm. We farm corn, grass, triticale, which is a type of grass. Some fields have alfalfa, and everything that we plant, we harvest ourselves, and that all is fed to our cows and calves on this farm. So
wow. That is awesome. And so you guys raise all of your own crops. These cows sound like they're living the life. You said only 5 to 7 minutes to milk a cow. That sounds incredibly short. What do they do the rest of their days, Farmer Mackenzie?
So when they're ready to be milked, you can kind of tell they'll come to the front of their pen and start mooing, and they're super excited to get to the parlor. So once they get finished milking, they're usually pretty hungry. They need to replenish their bodies from being milked, and they'll go eat. They'll lay in their sand pens or drink lots of water, hang out with their friends. I've noticed that they kind of lay in the same spots in the barns in their pen. They kind of hang out at the same area of the barn whenever they get finished milking. So they just hang out. When it's hot outside, we've got fans in the barns that keep them cool and sprinkler systems, which I'm really looking forward to that warm weather. Hopefully that comes soon. I know the cows will be able to stay cool in our barns.
Right. Oh, that sounds wonderful. And thank you to our camera lady, Erin, and Farmer Mackenzie for letting us have this really great shot of these girls for this minute or so. Hopefully everyone got their picture. So we could kind of resume back to giving some important information about the girls. But so thank you for sharing that about the cows. It sounds like they have a really great life on your farm. And you said sprinklers, which sounds really exciting. It kind of like sounds like they get a bath every day almost, like with the sprinklers a little bit, but also getting to stay cool, which is, I wish we had sprinklers in my house, and then I could stay cool.
Yeah, it's just like the kids when you get to put the sprinkler system out in the grass and run through it. They really get to enjoy that water. So the cows love it.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, Farmer Mackenzie, I can already tell I'm falling in love with your farm. We have so many people asking just about their calves in general. So to hopefully answer a bunch of those questions, do you mind giving us an update on each one of these girls? Let us know about how old are they now? How tall are they? How much are they weighing? They're clearly chowing down on food. What are they eating right now? So go ahead and give us a little update on each calf if you don't mind.
Sure. Each of the calves are about 8 months old. Um, Maisey, Star, Dolly, and Apple they each have the same birthday. So um, they're in the same pen right now at a different location on our farm. We have a barn off site, and that's where they're being raised right now. But for this special morning, we brought them back to our maternity pen. But right now, I think that they're about 500 pounds, which
Wow.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Compared to me, I'd say they're about 5 feet tall.
Wow.
Star here at the end, she's one of the nicest calves that I've ever seen. She's
Aw.
actually a little bit bigger than the other three.
You can see that, yeah. Nice
But
Star.
right now, at the barn that they're housed in, they are eating a mix of grass, triticale, and grain, and also soybean meal. So at this location, we start to introduce a type of feed called total mixed ration. And it's kind of like a big salad. It includes a bunch of different ingredients, and it trains the cow how to be prepared for those meals that we're getting once they come back to our main farm. So
Hmm.
it's a type of feed that gets them many different nutrients and is good roughage for them.
Yeah.
So their group mates, there are about 64 of them in a pen right now. So each cow gets about 15 to 18 pounds of feed a day, which
Oh
is
my
quite a bit of
goodness.
food.
Yeah, that's a lot of food. Oh my
So
goodness.
this morning, I just gave them a treat. They don't get
Aw.
fed until 2 this afternoon. So I gave them some grain, and there's some corn silage in there as well. And I think they're
Aw.
loving it. Hopefully they
I
stay hungry for this afternoon.
I would say they realize this is definitely a treat. So I guess, that's the exchange. Thanks for being on the camera for a half hour so you get to have a nice yummy treat while we hang out for a half
Yeah.
hour. Oh my goodness. So we can see while we're looking at these girls, I mean, they're in general, except for Star, you can see Star's a little bit taller, but they're all generally the same height. You said they're all the same age. We've had some folks noticing that two have collars and two don't. And we were asking about the ear tags as well. So do you want to just talk about the collars and the ear tags for us?
Sure. So on our dairy farm, we use an identification system that shows us the calf's mom and the calf's dad. So when the calf is born, they each get a specific number and an identification number specific to their background and where their parents came from. For this program, I just color coded the calves for my classrooms just so I could put a name and a color with them. So that was just something special. But I don't know if you can see, we have also a white tag, which is a
Hmm.
magnet reader. So when they go into the milking parlor, our computer system can pull up the history on that cow, how much milk she gave,
Hmm.
um, how old she is. So we use that
Wow.
just as a record keeping. So when they're born, I will give them their magnet and their yellow tag. So it's just a way that we organize here on our farm
Yeah.
and give them like a name or a number. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's really just an identification purpose and but also to keep track of them and their health. That button is pretty important and pretty incredible that,
mhm.
farming has come a long way from just overalls and pitchforks, but you guys really rely on technology and the reality is that is a lot of farming nowadays and that's incredible that you guys do you have like a way of like seeing that information on an app on your phone or a computer or how do you get to analyze that data for the cows?
We don't use anything on our phones, but we do have a computer program that our herdsmen can use
Mhm.
to look up at the milk history, how much weight, how much milk they're giving every day, and any health
Cool.
issues if ever there was one. Um,
Wow.
we also use the magnets to sort out cows that we need for specific things on the farm, like if she has a group change where she needs to be moved to a different place, or We do hoof trimming. So if she needs to be pulled out for anything specific like that, that magnet helps us. So we don't have to go out and disturb the rest of the herd looking for a specific cow. And we can use that sort gate to find them a little bit easier after they come out of the milking parlor.
That's very cool. Oh, technology is wonderful. And that sounds like it makes farming a little bit easier for you. So that way you're not having to remember who's who with all those cows, which is great. We've been getting really good questions, Farmer Mackenzie. So I'm going to try and go through as many of them as I can in the 15 minutes that we have here. So hold on to your hats and hopefully we can get through a bunch of them. I think a really good one to start off from Mrs. Figueroa's first grade class. They were asking a question directly to you, Farmer Mackenzie, and they were asking, what does it feel like to be a farmer?
Every day is different. I think that's what I like the most about dairy farming. I have a schedule and I have things that I have to complete off my list, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to get into every day. And I really enjoy that part of it. It makes it a little bit more fun to do something different every day. But I really enjoy working with my family, and I'm learning more and more about cows since that's something I didn't study in school. And I'm really enjoying that family aspect of it. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. That was a great answer. Thank you. So asking now, going back to the girls here, we had Mrs. Reddig's kindergarten class was wondering, how do the cows sleep? Do they sleep together? Do they have their own beds? How often do they sleep? That kind of thing.
In the barn that they're raised in right now, they sleep on sand. So it's a cool way to keep them clean and keep bacteria off of them. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they have friends, especially the cows that are the same age as them, and I'm sure that they sleep together. But in the style of free stalls that we have, it's all open, so they kind of can sleep together in little groups, or one or two together.
Right. That's cool.
You know what? I don't know how often they sleep. I think they're pretty active.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, they seem like they're kind of up and moving all the time. And I think what I've heard before is that actual like sleep, like REM sleep, they don't really do very much of. They kind of just lay around and chew their cud a lot, and they really
that's
get
what
to
I
live
was gonna
a
say
pretty lazy
too.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, they really just get to relax all the time, and I'm pretty jealous of that.
Right. Oh, that's funny. Good. Well, thank you. That was a good answer. Let's see. We've got some other really good questions coming in. So you mentioned briefly about, those tags that you can kind of help whether or not they're healthy. We had Mrs. Morocco's class was wanting to know, how do you keep them really healthy? Like, what are some things as a farmer you do to keep cows healthy? And also the flip side of that, what do you do if a cow is sick? What are some things as a farmer you do to keep them healthy that way too?
So when they're first born, we give a line of first defense, and it kind of just protects the baby from any of those illnesses right off the bat. We try and get her colostrum, which is packed full of vitamins and minerals, and can keep them really strong right at the beginning, because the baby's really sensitive when they're that young and they don't have that immune system built up. So those are some of the things we do right at the beginning.
Yeah.
When we wean them, we give them a broad range of vaccinations just to help with stuff like pink eye and any illnesses that they might come across with farming. But if a cow, like a milking cow, is sick, we will flag her up at our milking parlor right away, and her milk will not enter the milking system and go onto the truck at all. So she'll be pulled from that group and brought down to our bottom farm, where she's usually milked out and treated for any illnesses that she might come across. We're just very sure that her milk does not get put into the milk truck.
Right.
So we'll treat her down here where she can have a little bit more attention instead of being in that huge milking group.
Right. Well, it makes sense. It's kind of like her own little, little hospital room or something where she's get extra special attention from you guys as farmers. So that way she can put her best foot forward in a couple of days and join the milking group again, which is
We
pretty cool.
also work really closely with a veterinarian,
Mm.
so they can look at our herd health and make sure everything's good. We also have a nutritionist, so he'll come to our farm every month and walk out in the cows and make sure everything looks
Yeah.
good and they're acting right, and will adjust their food accordingly. So we work with those two people really closely here on the farm just to make sure we're doing everything that we know how to do.
Yeah. Yeah, this sounds like a nutritionist and a veterinarian are pretty vital to a farm. So those are some pretty fun career opportunities. Maybe anyone that's listening, if you'd be interested in maybe working with large animals sometime, maybe you could be a nutritionist or a veterinarian and even work with Farmer Mackenzie maybe someday, which would be pretty cool. We have, they were wondering, let's see, this one's from Miss Rosen. They were wondering if they have like a favorite food. She was asking about Dolly specifically, but for any of them, do they have a favorite food? Like, do they get treats often, or is it kind of just a very routine diet for them?
It's a pretty routine diet. Like I said, when they get moved to the barn they're at now, we do introduce that big sort of casserole to them. So they're getting more types of food instead of that grain and hay that they used to be on. So it allows them to grow big and strong. But I think that they really enjoy this grain that I gave them this morning. It's like a sweet treat. So they're scarfing it down.
That's awesome. Oh, this is a good question. This is from Miss Knotts. They were wondering, so first of all, if you could just remind us which calf is which, just we had some people asking like, wait, which one's which? So if
Yeah.
you don't mind reminding us of that first.
So the one here eating in the pink, that's Maisey. Over here in the white, that's Dolly. And then
Dolly.
Star was our big one, big black one. I guess they're kind of skittish. And then Apple's the other one. Apple's
the one
going
that's
towards the watering trough right now.
Yep. There she is.
She's looking, yep.
Got that like white stripe on her shoulder.
So I went to bring them back to this farm and noticed that they lost their collars. So my fault.
No problem. That's all right. That gives us a little bit of an idea now. Hopefully everyone, I know they all look very similar. But that helps. Thank you very much, Farmer Mackenzie. So we also had another question. They're wondering what's the average lifespan of a cow? So, what's the average lifespan? What's the oldest cow you've had on your farm? Yeah, just talk a little bit about the lifespan of a cow.
So I don't know our oldest cow on the farm. I think the last one that we had was about 11 or 12 years old, actually.
Wow.
But right now I'm not sure how old our oldest cow is. I was gonna look that up, but I missed that one. But usually about 5 years, 5 to 7 years is a good lifespan.
Yeah. That sounds right. And anyone that's listening, maybe you're thinking, goodness, only 5 or 7 years, but you have to remember their life is very different than ours, right? I mean, they have teeth, their eyes are open, and they're walking within the first hour of being born, where for us, it takes us years to be able to do that. So
right. Their bodies develop a lot quicker than ours, because that was one of the questions that I've seen come across, like, how can a heifer have a baby at 2 years old? And that doesn't make sense, but their bodies are way more developed a lot quicker than ours. So,
yeah. And they're a lot bigger, which makes sense. Bigger animals tend to have a little bit shorter lifespan. How big is a grown cow? Like how much does she weigh normally?
It could range from 1,500 pounds to 1,600,
Wow.
It's a pretty big cow. I mean, they're usually, I'm 5'5", about 5'5". Yeah. Some of the older ones are a lot bigger than the little heifers or first time moms.
Sure. Oh my goodness, that's big. Well, thank you. That's pretty cool. So actually talking about adulthood or mature cowhood. I'm not sure how we want to describe it for cows, but when will these girls have their first baby and join the milking herd? What will their kind of next year and a half look like for them?
So in the next 4 or 5 months, we will work with a veterinarian to make sure that she's ready to have a baby. But then once we confirm that she is pregnant, she will just take it easy, make sure that she's getting all that good nutritious food and growing her baby really well. But then around it, they're they're pregnant for about 9 months, just the same as humans. So once that time comes, we will move her back to this main farm. And actually, this barn that we're in is our maternity pen. So she'll be brought into here to give birth. And it's a nice, quiet area. We can give her one-on-one attention, make sure that birth went well. She doesn't need any help or anything like that.
Right. Oh,
So
that's
we
awesome.
actually have a newborn baby trying to get in with
Oh,
the pen right now. I don't know what we're doing over here.
oh my goodness. Look how
It looks
little.
like the heifers want to play with her too. But looks like she was just born early this morning.
They're going to give her some love. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Look how little. So just this is a really great comparison. This is exactly how big our 4 adopted calves were to start the program. And look at that difference in just, 7, 8 months. That's incredible how much they've grown since then. Wow. Oh, look how cute you are. So she's only a couple hours old, right? She looks pretty
Yep.
wobbly yet.
She's a little wobbly. She's still wet, but like you said, they are trying to walk around soon after they're born.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
Oh, she wants to join the friends. Look at her. Oh my goodness. So you mentioned playing a little bit, and this is a good question from Mrs. Riot, who's someone that will end up watching us on replay. So hello, Mrs. Riot's class. And they asked, how do cows play, and do cows make friends?
Yeah, I think cows make friends. I think they have their group mate, their herd mates that they like to mess around with. But actually, this morning when I was in here in the pen with the heifers, they were jumping around like crazy. So when
Hey,
you're
Farmer
around
Mackenzie.
these,
Oh, there we go.
yeah,
For some reason, it sounded like you were really far away from the mic. So I'm sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead. You're good.
So they just run and jump around if they're super excited, but they'll come up here. I was able to actually pet them early this morning, but they're just a little skittish right now with someone else in their living space. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think they all have friends. I think there's specific heifers that they like to hang out with.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and I would say someone mentioned, they noticed on their ear tags that the first 3 numbers on their tags were the same for all of them, and that's because they were all born back to back, right? And if they kind of live their life together normally, I've heard that usually means they'll kind of end up sticking with each other for the rest of their life. You tend to see them next to each other or things like that. Is that pretty true for your farm?
Yeah, that is pretty true. Once they have their first baby, they're brought up to our milking facility and they'll all be in the same group. These heifers will spend most of their life together, but there are different groups at our milking facility that's based on how many calves they've had or how much milk they're giving, how old they are. So it's either age group or their milk production. So yeah,
Wow.
they usually stick together.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Farmer Mackenzie, we are getting close here to wrapping up for the day. And I know we had so many good questions that so many of you asked. And I apologize, we're not going to be able to get to all of them, but hopefully we were able to answer some of your questions for you and get to see these girls. And they're being a little mischievous right now, trying to eat those buckets. But Farmer Mackenzie, to start wrapping up today, I just wanted to ask you one last question, which is truly just finding out what is your why. So you talked a little bit about, what's your favorite part about being a dairy farmer, but why have you chosen to be a dairy farmer? why do you do what you do every day? It's clearly hard work, and you're doing an amazing job, but usually means sacrificing vacation or personal time. So what's your why in taking care of these cows for us?
Well, family is my why. This farm has been in my father's family for a very long time. Um, I've always enjoyed the way I grew up and here on the dairy farm playing and feeding calves and stuff like that. And I just like this atmosphere. I like the team that we have here on the farm and hanging out with my brothers as much as we always have to work, but we
Yeah.
have a lot of fun too. So I don't know. I enjoy being back here on the farm and learning about dairy farming and cows, and the babies are my favorite. So I get to work with them every morning. So
That's awesome. Farmer
yeah.
Mackenzie, you are very clearly take really good care of these girls, and we are so thankful that you do, because I would be lost without my ice cream in life. So I'm very thankful that you produce a really fresh, high quality product. We talked a little bit about the milking process, how easy and relaxing it is for those cows, and that you're very careful about making sure that every ounce of milk is very clean and fresh, and you do everything you can as a farmer to ensure that. So thank you very much for being a great farmer, good stewards of the land, and just taking really good care of these girls. They're loving it. And I just realized the baby came with us. I didn't see that she
Yeah, we have a new
came.
friend. I don't know what we're doing here, but they're so friendly. They're just curious.
Oh my gosh. Farmer Mackenzie, before we tune off today, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
I just wanted to thank everyone for allowing me to be a part of your classroom this year. I've had so much fun and I've loved enjoying reading all of the letters that I've received from you guys. I know there's been so many of you writing in. I'm sorry that I haven't replied to any, but I've loved to read those messages.
Oh,
But I actually wanted to give a little shout out to some of our local schools and their classrooms. So I wanted to say hi to Mrs. Elmore's classroom up at Garraway Middle School, and then to Mrs. Strohmeyer's class in Baltic, and also Mrs. Roach's class in Reggersville. So thank you all
hello.
so much. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I've had so much fun. Hopefully we can do this again next year.
Awesome. Thank you, Farmer Mackenzie. And it was a great little shout out to all those local schools. And thank you to all of you. Farmer Mackenzie, you're going to have to go on the replay of this and check out all the thank yous. You're getting a lot of love from a lot of people, and they loved getting to adopt their calf and everything you've done for them this year. So thank you for letting us kind of take that virtual step on your farm today, and getting to see these girls and how much they've grown, and learn a little bit more about you. So thank you for an
Sure.
awesome year with you. And thank you to all of you who adopted and joined the program. We hope to have you again next year. As a reminder to our teachers, registration is open this Sunday already for next year's program. We'll start it up again in October, but registration opens May 1st at discoverdairy.com/adopt. We hope to see you all in the program next year. And don't worry, your girls are going to grow big and strong on Farmer Mackenzie's farm, and have a nice, happy life here. So thank you so much, Farmer Mackenzie, and thank you to all of you for joining us today. And we hope to see you in the program next year. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.